Hello, Tangerine, Bears in Space. We have
What a great image. Um,
Steam Next Fest. Steam Next Fest Shooters is this
yeah.
section. I think the story of this is a human and a bear fuse DNA, and then you have
Oh,
to. You're the
you're a
bear,
human,
yeah.
but that. Oh, okay.
So you
Interesting.
play most of the game as like a shooter, and then you get to certain points where you rage out and you turn into a giant bear and start smashing things.
Right.
Um, but the game is very much designed in like a. I would say it massively reminds me of Ratchet and Clank how it works. Um, you have guns. You go to like these little vendors that pop up and you buy ammo from them, and you smash boxes to get currency and ammo. And then the more you use a gun, the more that gun levels up and upgrades. And I'm
Okay.
like, and it has like quite a lot of platforming elements. And I'm like, this is sort of like FPS Ratchet and Clank.
I'd say
Um,
that the way you're encountered like some of the rooms of the enemies like kind of remind me a little bit more of Ratchet and Clank 1, but then there's like other parts like so I don't know, maybe
also,
the 1 and 2
is also
are
going for that
similar
like
actually.
humor style of like
Hmm.
Ratchet and Clank as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I thought this demo was pretty decent, but I think it could do with quite a lot of polish. Like
Right. Okay.
it sort of felt like it was somewhere in between like a Ratchet and Clank fan game and an FPS, but it never felt one of them never felt quite as good as the two combined, sort of thing. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they tried to mash them together, but they're not like
Well,
unique in their own right, sort of thing.
yeah,
Um,
what like, is that the shooting not I guess how the shooting
the
feel, I
guns
suppose,
don't
is the
feel
first
very
question.
impactful, I would say. Like
Yeah.
I found myself mostly using the shotgun, and then the other guns I just didn't really care for
The,
much. They're like
okay,
pretty
because those already seemed a bit generic, but as in
because you
like
get the
in cotton
pistol, the
shotgun.
SMG, the
Yeah.
assault rifle,
Yeah.
the minigun, the
Because
shotgun.
Ratchet and Clank is like they're even in the
So
first
this
game,
is
the
probably one
weapons
of
are
my favorite
quite
parts of the demo.
unique.
It's like you need to go this way, and it's like, oh, you just made a hoop, and then takes you off on like a giant side quest of you now have to join like a basketball team. I don't know
That's
if it
quite
always
funny.
does that,
Okay.
but I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like it felt organic.
Yeah. This is kind of what like Ratchet and Clank does. It's like, oh, let's go this way. Then like you have like two routes on a planet. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this route like you have to do something kind of crazy. Like, okay. Terms and conditions apply.
So then you play like, yeah, you start to play this fucking square basketball game, and it's just like it's a complete tangerine in the middle of the game, and like the actual game is nothing like this. But it just, I
Okay.
wish there was more just like weird shit like this that happened,
Yeah.
or
That'd
like
be quite cool.
because of once you
More
do
mini
this
games.
like side quest mini game, that basketball becomes like a weapon you can use.
Oh,
It's
okay.
sort
That
of
is
like
very
a grenade sort of thing where you try and throw it
that
at
is
as many robots
very
as
Ratchet and
possible
Clank
to
1.
knock them over.
Yeah.
The Ridgebot Robbies.
Because in Ratchet and Clank 1, like you need to like get like a respirator, so that you have to you go
Yeah.
to a holiday planet where like to go underwater you need a respirator, so it's kind of like oh
Oh, you have
okay.
like a
And
little
then do so
ship that you fly off in this game. Don't you worry about that.
oh okay, okay.
Um,
Very nice. Yeah, the premise seems very interesting then, but yeah, it's just saying just like more polished to make it more
yeah, like there was some
its own
like
thing.
there was some weapons like the basketball cube that were quite cool. And then there was some other interesting ones, but it was mostly just the game started me off with a bunch of like generic ones, and I was like, and the gunplay feels kind of, I don't know. There's not a lot of great feedback on the robots. They feel a little
Yeah.
like you shoot them for a bit and then they sort of fall over. Like it doesn't feel snappy. Like the FPS part's not great, and then there's the so this is the basketball thing I was using, but then there's like a platforming section, and the movement in this game is okay. It's not great.
Right.
So it's sort of like Ratchet and Clank had amazing shooting for like a controller game, and then it had like, and then also you had like that third-person platforming that was great with like the jetpacks and the helicopter stuff and the platforms. But it's like you're going from like sort of
thing.
Like I really wanted to like this game because I love Ratchet and Clank and that sort of stuff and FPS stuff, but it was like, well, there's some kind of mediocre gunplay, and then you go into some like kind of mediocre platforming because it's all in first person as well. Like, but you don't necessarily have to have third person platforming. Like moving around in like Doom is insanely fun.
Yeah,
like just moving around in like an FP, or just moving around in Quake is insane. Like that feels so good.
I feel like there's some. I not played that, but like watching it, it's like I feel like there's some stuff. It's like I could see it as like an analog of like some movement stuff from Ratchet and Clank, but in first person. Not saying that.
Well, I think one of the most hated things in Doom Eternal is when they added the purple goo, because the purple goo slows you down.
Yeah,
and people hated that. Because they were like, I don't want to slow down, I want to go fast. So here it's Spendo Vend. Isn't this very like Ratchet and Clank? Yeah. So you can save up, you can buy armor, you can buy ammo, or you can buy new guns from these vendors.
I will say, like, whenever I heard a robot speak, I was like, oh, I'm getting very Ratchet and Clank vibes. I know they didn't invent that, but it was very much... maybe not popularized it, but it's like very, very well done version of that.
So you got like a Gatling laser.
That seems more, more interesting.
Yeah. I'll just
like I would expect that as just like the second weapon you got in like a Ratchet and Clank game.
It was like these guys with shields, you have to take him out.
The lance rifle.
But it was like, look how bullet spongy this guy feels to shoot. Yeah. Look how long it's taking me to kill him, and there's like no feedback about how much damage I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was constantly feeling like, oh, yeah, I'm just emptying bullets into this enemy now. Like, I think this stuff could be fixed. I think there's even an option to like tone down platforming. I think there was as well. If you didn't like, there was some cool collectible stuff. Like there was like a Tony Hawk section I played at one point where this is the sort of stuff I liked. Where,
Giant Clank.
Yeah, Giant Clank. And it was like you could fill up this bar for no reason, and it was like, yeah, here's a reward for filling up the useless bar with destroying the town for no reason. Or it's like I think I can't remember what came first. I think because there's also it reminds me of the giant section in Psychonauts. Psychonauts is a section that's very much like this as well. That is really fun.
I don't know much. What's the timeline of Psychonauts? So
I thought Psychonauts is probably early 2000s, and then I guess Ratchet and Clank is probably around that time as well.
Yeah, it wasn't. It would. Giant Clank's first. Is it in 2 first? It's like a limited version, and 3 then goes hand with it, or?
So Ratchet and Clank 1 came out in 2002. Psychonauts came out in 2005. So they're very close together.
There's no Giant Clank in first game.
Well, the second one came out the next year in 2003, and then the third one came out in 2004. So they all predate Psychonauts. So I guess Psychonauts was inspired by Ratchet and Clank.
Maybe.
I would say that's kind of stretching. I mean, they're obviously inspired by kaiju movies like Godzilla.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, I make the connection because this game is also incredibly Ratchet and Clank. But yeah, there was a section where to collect this collectible, I had to collect a bunch of letters that spelled out a word. I don't remember what the word was.
It wasn't better.
Oh, there was a propeller hat you could throw that could deal with small enemies, but I didn't find it that useful.
Yeah, because it only has 10 ammo, so I expected to do quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wait, is this boss less bullet spongy than some of the enemies?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just standing still and putting damage into his health bar.
Yeah, there's no like weak points. What's going on?
So, but I did like this part. I thought this part was pretty cool. It's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go and collect some stuff, and it's like, okay, you can leave the arena now. And then it's like, phase 2, he's back, and he's got hammers this time.
Okay, that's kind of funny. Okay,
it's funny, but it's like, well, back to emptying bullets into the bullet sponge.
It's still, yeah. It feels more interesting in the
atoms is what you have to spell with the.
Oh, atoms.
I'll just show you quickly the bear mode. So you get to go on like this rampage at the end where you turn into a bear, which is pretty cool. I think there's a lot of good ideas in this game, but yeah, I think it needs quite a bit of polish before I would consider getting this game.
Less bullet spongy, maybe more enemies that's a counteract. Like more enemies, less bullet spongy, and then more. What's the word?
Yeah.
Like your feedback on stuff. Yeah.
Let's move on. Oh, Children of the Sun. This was a really surprising one for me. I was not expecting this game. I saw an article actually before I played this that said, "This is the best game for Steam Deck," and I was like, "It's a shooter game. How could it be good on Steam Deck?" And then I played it, and I was like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense."
Okay, so you say it's good.
This feels like a game that would be published by Devolver Digital, and it is.
Okay.
It's fucking weird, brutal, gory, like incredibly stylized. So it's another Devolver because we had Pepper Grinder from the movement games, and the way this game controls is it's more about you're basically a sniper rifle taking down a cult that has wronged you. I think what I gathered from there's like brief story snippets, doesn't really explain it to you, but there's a cult that like killed or tortured you and your father or something, so you're going back to get revenge by shooting them all. And the way it works, you have a sniper rifle with one bullet, but because they're the cult of the Children of the Sun or something, it's giving you some sort of psychic power where you can basically, after every shot with the one bullet, fire another shot from the perspective where you fired that last one bullet. You only have one bullet sort of thing.
And actually the bullet just pierces through people. It doesn't slow down.
So it stops exactly where you fire. I think you can hit multiple enemies, and the enemies have weak. I love that it doesn't completely freeze time. It kind of slows down. It's very slow, so you can see like people slowly running away when they realize. And there's like a proximity thing. So you may shoot somebody and then people around them will be running away, but then people across the room, they'll have no idea and they'll still be standing still.
Oh, no. That's good.
You move left and right with like... You can use W and D to go left and right, but the game tells you to like just move your mouse left and it like auto walks to the left and auto walks to the right. So like movement's not very important in this game, and the aiming is about very slow, precise aiming. There's no like twitch aiming, so I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense to play it on a Steam Deck then, because you don't really need the precise aiming of a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it's like Sniper Elite, but more shooting to move around. I like that.
Psychic Sniper Elite on LSD.
Oh, it like shows you. That just show you the route.
Yeah, the path.
Okay.
You can capture the path as well and share it with other people, which I think is quite cool. I have to show you. It depends how long we talk about this game. I'll skip to it if we're probably not going to talk about it for 36 minutes. But the final kill I did was nuts. I was like, that was cool.
It seems like a well executed, in depth, but like very like, well, not in depth, but sorry, like, but like many different levels of a very precise mechanic, but it seems well done.
Well, the thing is, the demo kept adding more mechanics as the levels went on. Like, it never got stale.
Oh, okay.
So, as you see here, his mechanic, if they're stood next to an explosive, like a hubcap, you can blow up the car and kill multiple enemies. There even comes a point down the line where you get the ability to shoot weak spots, and if you shoot 2 weak spots, it charges up your ability to completely change the direction of one of your bullets. So you're kind of... This game is less like a shooter and more like a puzzle game, like a strategy puzzle game in a lot of respects.
Yes. Yeah, I like that.
Like it feels like if I was going to compare it to another, let's go for a Devolver game, it feels very much like Hotline Miami, where in the beginning you play Hotline Miami and you're like, oh, it's about running in and killing people as quickly as possible. And then you play it and then you realize you can look really far into the future. And then you realize Hotline Miami is like a strategy stealth game in disguise.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great example of a game where you look at it and you go, oh, it's a shooter game. And you're actually like, well, no, it's kind of more like a strategy puzzle game than it is an actual shooter game. And you can like mark targets as you go. So you can be like, oh, there's a target over here, there's a target over here. And then you can sort of plan out your attack. And one of the things I love that they did was if you marked a target and so you have to shoot all of the enemies to progress to the next level, right?
Yeah.
If you marked an enemy, it will stay marked for your next attempt as well. Even if you fail, you reset, which I really thought was cool. So I didn't have to constantly remark them over and over again.
Yeah, because because your strategy or your attempt at a strategy might carry over. That makes sense.
Yeah, every hubcap you shoot or every person, so every like environmental kill you hit or every person you hit, that like clash every time you hit something is very like Ape Out, another Devolver game, which like clash, clash, clash. Like you constantly feel like you're having an impact in the environment through the sounds it's given. Like this game is very well polished, in contrast to the previous one, unfortunately. But like I think they've done a lot of things like, what's the word? Kinesthetically, is that the word I'm looking for?
I know what you're trying. I can't. It's either that or something very similar. It sounds at least close. Yeah, I know what you're.
Like it feels good to play, or like with like phones you have haptic feedback. This game almost has haptic feedback in the game. I don't know the right word for that, but that's what it has.
Yeah.
Why do you hate these yellow people? You get brief clues as to why, but you don't really care. You just want to shoot them all.
Do you know what the cult's about through the playing
they're doing bad shit. That's what I know.
Okay. Yeah,
let's skip ahead a bit.
That's very interesting though.
Because you eventually get to a point where you can slightly turn the bullet in midair without having to hit vital spots. So there is a bit of forgiveness there, and it lets you... So if you have, for example, an enemy that stood behind a hay bale, and you cannot possibly shoot them from your starting spot, you can do a slight turn in midair, but it's very limited, and it's time dependent.
Right, okay.
So you can see here, when I hold down right click, it's slowing down time, but he's right to my right, so I can't turn all the way around and shoot him.
Yeah.
But you do get the full re-aim when you get the weak spot mechanic, which I'll try and show you here.
So I guess with the extra mechanics, it does get more challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So here's the weak spots. They show up as these glowing things. Take him out.
It does look, it does look very satisfying though with the.
But yeah, they give you these tutorials
the feedback
throughout the game to be like, this is how they work. So I shot that guy in the weak spot, and then I was trying to figure out how to actually use the weak spot. I don't think I shot him in the weak spot. I shot him in the head instinctively. So now you can re-aim, which is really cool. So what you want to do is you want to shoot outwards, and then once you have the bullet going up so you can get to the next level, then you want to re-aim back towards the house so you can shoot the guys upstairs. Because like verticality is really important, because you always have to shoot from the trajectory of where the bullet last was. So I'll sort of show you what that looks like.
So I guess like having a level where they try and teach you it is kind of important, because it's kind of I don't think you'd be able to figure it out, I suppose. But yeah, I like that. It's like you try and teach you.
But yeah, this game was really fun. I would like to play more of this. See if I can play this one. I'll give it.
Seems quite a bit in the these two demos.
Yeah,
so
they gave you like quite a lot of content. So re-aim that. Oh, there'll be people with shields in one direction, so you have to like re-aim in order to be able to shoot them, sort of thing. Yeah. So you really have to think about where you're starting your aiming and where you're finishing it.
The levels are like quite a lot of obstacles. In the levels, that's kind of force you to think.
I wanted to show you my one of my final kills, because I was like, this was sick. They should have a mode where you can, so they let you see the path of where the bullet went, but I was like, they should have like a replay from the bullet's perspective without the pauses and just show you all of that. I think that would look so cool.
Yeah.
Here I start off, blow up this van, so I get both of these kills. Take out this guy hiding behind the riot shield. Take out this guy with the riot shield. I'm going to shoot up into the air because I've got to reshoot the bullet from weak spots. And then I'm going to snipe this car while it's next to these dudes in midair.
Okay.
I got them all in one. Cool. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, thank God I was recording this, because this game needs like a replay mode, because that looks so fucking cool. And I got 644 from the leaderboard for it as well, because I think you get points based on, you know, the distance you go, how many explosions you take off, how many bullets you use, like the less bullets the better sort of thing. So that was really cool.
So you beat Bensor POV.
Yep. Let's move on to Mullet Mad Jack, which is
a mouthful.
It's sort of in the style of a like classic like 1980s anime, but it feels like it's very much from the perspective of like a dubbed American version almost, I would say. It has that very like heavy neon vibe. But then, so I get the perspective is you're playing as somebody who's being controlled by a Twitch chat to rescue a princess from these people who basically the princess is a gimmick for, you know, just rescue this woman. It's a gimmick to make you go and kill more enemies. And then there's sort of like, so it's set up like a roguelite FPS, but you have 10 seconds to live, and every time you kill somebody, it extends the time.
Okay.
It's an
makes force you be aggressive.
Yeah, it's an incredibly like fast-paced like Twitch FPS shooter. I guess it's Twitch in both ways, because it's like you're on like a fake live streaming service.
Yeah.
Because like I remember in the fake Twitch chat they were typing in Japanese and then thumbs up, which I found hilarious. Oh, you have to rescue this woman because she's got 2 million followers.
Oh, okay, that's very important.
The first moderator to rescue her wins the prize. There it is. I guess there's also maybe anti-capitalism in this, I think, because every time you kill one of the bosses, it's like, another billionaire killed. And it's like, okay.
Just to eat the rich.
But it's that very like neon, heat wave, like vaporwave sort of style, right?
Yeah. Oh, your dog says consumer?
Or like that cyberpunk vibe, like what's that thing? Akira, I think, or Neon Genesis Evangelion. I've never seen any of these shows, but I feel like these are similar to this.
I don't know. Possibly. I don't know much about those either.
Because those are like older animation things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well,
let's go to the gameplay.
What if you can't find enemies? You just die.
Well, there's always enemies in your path, pretty much.
Okay.
And there's also, you can get different. So at the end of every level, you get to choose from a perk. Oh yeah, so if you can also die by getting shot, but you can also get Sody Pop from vending machines, which replenishes your health, and you can also charge up an instant kill melee. Oh, do you see him? Thumbs up, random Japanese, thumbs up.
How did the robot have time to give you the middle finger? Is my question.
He was still alive, technically, for a
Right.
second. Yeah.
Okay. I guess his disc is still spinning, so.
But yeah, the end of each. So you have 10 seconds. You go through like quite a short map, and then you get to choose like a roguelite power-up upgrade for the run, and it'll be like so.
Okay.
You usually have a choice of a new gun. So you start off with a pistol, but you can get. I used a Uzi, a katana, and a shotgun. And I found my favorite weapon was definitely the shotgun. I found that one to be quite good to use. I think my least favorite was the katana. Didn't feel as good to use. Although you can throw the katana like a ranged weapon to help you out when the enemies are far away. Like it's pretty easy to close the gap on enemies because you have like a really aggressive dash move. So it's like you can dash forward really quickly. But I really like the shotgun because you have to reload as well. So having to reload can actually, cost you a lot of time because you have to manually reload it. So I found like taking a shotgun with a big clip allowed me to just be constantly shooting enemies without having to reload constantly. I love that you can there's tons of environmental kills. You can just kick enemies into things. And I even got a perk that made it so when I kicked an enemy into an environmental hazard, it gave me extra time. So I was constantly just trying to kick people into like fans and soda machines.
Oh, it's kind of cool. It's not just like, oh, you get more time for doing this. It's like you have to actually earn the makes it more interesting. Oh, that's how you die. Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to show that for the.
I was showing it for the viewers.
For the people watching.
Viewers, yeah.
So most people wouldn't know.
Yep. I'll show you some later stuff. Here's the shotgun.
It's very interesting. Interesting looking and like aesthetic and.
I love the 2D sprites. It's like hyper stylized. Like I love that shit.
Yeah. I
think it looks great. And it's very animated, like it's trying to represent. But it's really fast and fun. Like it's probably one of the fastest demos I played. Where you go in, you shoot people, you get out. And then this is the upgrade system. So it's like, oh, I can get an extra magazine, or I can headshots give an extra second bonus, or you can take a new weapon. And then eventually you'll get to like a boss fight. So I'll try and show you This is a boss fight here. So sometimes you get an upgrade that will be like, oh, you get 10% off the health, 10% bonus to boss damage. I was like, oh, I guess I'll take that. Seems pretty good. Billionaire killed. Robot billionaires remaining 3,000.
How? Okay, if that's a billionaire, then I have questions, but I don't think I'm gonna get answers.
Yeah. But it seems like the bullet head guy is always taunting you, and he was saying like, "Oh, you're being controlled by somebody else," and I'm like, "Are they doing some like fourth wall breaking meta thing?" Because he's
talking about like you're
like
being
wait, are they talking about him being a moderator and the Twitch stream controlling him? I wasn't sure how deep they were going.
Yeah,
with
the
references.
Play more to find out.
But yeah, it was pretty fun, and there's chapters to the game. So the demo has the first 2 chapters. I was surprised how long it was.
That's 2 whole chapters.
But then you eventually unlock like stuff for your next run. So once you complete a chapter, you can be like, well, now instead of having level 1 weapons, permanently in all future runs, I now have tier 2 weapons, or permanently I'll have a different upgrade, right?
Right.
Which is cool to see. There is like progression as well, if you play enough sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like I can see myself playing this. This was like really fun. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's very very.
But let's move on to the final demo of the next fest for shooters that I played, and it is Tribes 3 Rivals. So Tani, I don't know if you know about the game Tribes, but
I know Tribes Ascend.
It was High Res Studios, they did Tribes Ascend, right? And I remember back in the day, I wanted to play it so bad. Like, it looked really fun. Like, because I love, like, fast-paced movement shooters. But I remember for some reason, trying to install any high-res game on my computer would crash it back in the day. So I never got to play Tribes Ascend. I don't know. Don't ask me why.
That's a very interesting issue.
It was very specifically high-res games would crash. But what Tribes is, it's sort of like a mixture of skiing and like rocket launching, I guess is the best way to describe it. Like shooting and skiing. It is very much that mixture of going fast while also trying to shoot where the enemy is going to be because they're also moving very fast.
I remember watching the Tour Biscuit played it a lot and I had it in the background and stuff. It's like always apologized for being bad if he was bad, but then was sometimes good.
I apologize for being very bad because I'm very bad at this game.
Yeah. So this is like this is your first time playing because you never could launch it or. But
I'm also like when it comes to shooter games, I'm very much a hit scan player compared to like a projectile player. Like for me, it would go like hit scan, and then in the middle would be stuff like fall off with like snipers or bows and arrows and stuff in the middle, and then my worst weapons would be projectile stuff like rocket launchers or grenade launchers. That's the stuff where I'm the worst at usually in video games, and I feel like this game is heavily like sniper and mostly explosive based. Like it's about fragging people in midair sort of thing, I would say.
Yeah.
But I did manage to play a couple of games, so I'll show some like because you get different classes as well. So it's like there was a deathmatch mode in the demo, and then there was a capture the flag, and I just played deathmatch because I wanted to just practice trying to shoot people.
Yeah.
But I think even the deathmatch mode, you could hold a flag to score more kills. So I think if you if you had the flag and you killed someone, it count as more kills, sort of thing.
Okay.
So there's the light class, which has a lot of movement abilities but less health, and very like quick weapons. And there was the medium, who is more of like a tactical thing, and then there was the heavy, who had like the most health. But then he had like shields and healing and stuff like that, right? I can tell you I got very few kills playing this. Like I was trying really hard.
Because like I feel like with Tribes, I always thought it was like a cool concept, and I did actually. Even this, like I still like.
It's
even
very
a noob,
satisfying to
say,
watch,
I like watching. Yeah. But as like for me, it's like I wish there was like a campaign instead.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like a Tribes single player sort of thing.
Yeah, but they've never done that. It's like the people who make like V Rising. Is like I was like for the longest time like, oh, I really like what they make, but I want them to make a PvE game, and then obviously V Rising. It's like okay.
Oh, you mean seeing Blood Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Battle Right.
Yeah.
Their first game was called Bloodlines, I think, and then their next game was called Battle Right, which is the one you saw me play, I think. But I also played Bloodlines back in the day.
I think I can't remember if I've seen.
But with every like medium, you get like grenades and shield packs and face packs, and then offensive, you have like healing and stuff like that. There's much also with the different classes. There's an attack class and a defense class. So the way it's set up is I think it is very much based around that kind of capture the flag thing, where you'll have, we're going to have some defense guys who sit by the flag and defend it, and then we'll have some attack guys who go and try and steal the enemy's flag.
To like encourage different gameplay, I suppose. Yeah.
What I learned from playing like, I don't know, I probably played like half an hour to an hour of Tribes is, the game's cool for what it is, but it's just probably not a game for me. Like I could put in more time and probably get better at it, but I ultimately wasn't. Because I was playing on it, right? And as we begin the game, it's like, what difficulty are you? I said beginner. And I went into a lobby and I was getting fragged by everyone. I'm like, I don't think this game has the player base for beginners. Like I think everybody because I don't know how many people are playing this demo at least, but from what I could tell, it seemed like most people were like they played a lot of tribes compared to me.
Doesn't
I think that's
more like single player challenges like get you up to speed or something?
It was just like a tutorial mode mostly. And
yeah, you need more complex.
But that's always like I love games like Mordhau and Chivalry, but the biggest problem is that there's like a really dedicated hardcore player base, and they got really good at the game. So when you have new players who come along, they immediately get stomped by the really good players. Yeah. And then like, well, I'm not going to keep playing this. So there's never any beginner players. Yeah. So the game never grows. And I could see this game having a really dedicated audience. But I would be worried about its long-term growth of the game, where eventually, you know, they might have to shut it down. I don't know. Like, the game's not even come out yet, so who's to say? But I think
Tribes have always had that sort of issue.
I haven't seen anyone talking about this Tribes game at all. Like, I literally I knew about it because I signed up to a playtest beforehand. Right. Because I wanted to try a Tribes game, but I've seen very little online about this game, which worries me.
Yeah, I always feel like, I feel like that's been like the curse of Tribes like since the beginning. It's like has this like cult following sort of thing, but it does seem very interesting. But personally, like for me, like I'm not multiplayer person. I just love the mechanics. That looks really interesting, but I want a single player campaign, which I think could be really interesting, but really not what the devs are going for, I suppose. Wait, so who makes this game then?
This is Prophecy Games. It's not High Res.
Prophecy.
Because High Res does like Paladins, and do they even do like Smite potentially?
I think so. Yes. Or at least publish it or something, or a different.
So I don't know if this is like licensed from High Res, or they just made their own game called Tribes that's slightly similar. But I don't know how the licensings work because it's very similar to like Tribes Ascend, basically.
Yeah, it looks very, very similar to what I've seen before, so I'm wondering if it is with got permission or something. Yeah.
But yeah, if you seem like this is interesting to you, then check it out. But I think I'm gonna not continue to play this game. I think it might have issues down the line, and where it currently is now is not something I want to engage with.
Please make a single player. Is I know it's like probably not what people who play Tribes want, but like for people like me, like I would love this, but single player.
Yeah, that was the Steam Next Fest for shooters, and that's the final video, big video. But we'll have our highlight reel that'll be coming out probably sometime soon, and that'll basically go, hey, these are the demos you've got to check out, sort of thing, if you're interested in just looking at a bunch of interesting ones. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.